All right, guys. We are awake. Pull clock tower. All right, so we do have Moderna earnings this morning. Put this up on screen and then get everything ready. Moderna earnings this morning. Aapl Amzn earnings this evening. Where did I put it on the bottom? There we go. All right, I'm gonna get some music playing as well. All right, we're gonna do a poll here like we always do. The question is gonna be, does the market bounce today? Yeah, we do have Moderna earnings. We're looking at those stocks now to see if we find anything, but all right, guys. So a little cushion on the day. I'll put up the NASDAQ here. All right. Again, we do have Moderna earnings dropping today. Pull some stuff up here. Got it. All right, so there's AMD. AMD did break down. Is it time to buy the dip? Let me know what you guys think. Here's the SPY today. SPY is slightly down again. It might be buying time for me, though. We're down a little bit in our swing trades, but again, these are kind of longer term trades. We're down like $2 today. And again, we're holding some stuff too, but again, we are looking at Moderna here. MRNA does drop their numbers. Here's mRNA right here. Don't look like they're out. There's we don't know when they're dropping theirs either. They said they're gonna drop theirs sometime in pre-market, but we really don't know when that's gonna be. Sorry, I realized I didn't even have my face up. I don't know, man. I think Apple could save the market again. We don't know if it's going to, but I think it could. You know. Got the earnings today. Budweiser dropped theirs. It looks like they beat on both. You know, we got a couple other ones. AMD's down a lot. Yeah, AMD's down a lot for sure. Warner Bros. Drops theirs sometime before the opening bell. Budweiser already out. They showed 66-cent estimates. They posted 72 cents. So Budweiser beat. Yeah, and you can see Moderna right here. Moderna is expecting, they're at 109.70s for Moderna. They are expecting losing $3.84 a share on 319.64 million in sales. We also have Hasbro, ConocoPhillips. Again, Apple and Amazon earnings after the bell this evening. Very relevant. Very relevant. We'll see what we get, but again, very relevant this evening. Again, here is the SPY. So the SPY is down a little bit again on the day. We're still at around 450s though, or so, right around 450s. Earnings yesterday. Yeah, the earnings yesterday, if we look at it. And then here's the SPY. SPY at 449s. Yeah, I'm looking at the earnings right now. Hope Tesla squeezes today. Yeah, if we look at Tesla, there's Moderna. Y'all let me know if y'all see the earnings release from Moderna. Here's Tesla. Tesla down at 254. It's kind of flat today, a little bit up. Yeah, sorry. All right, so let's see if it lets me. I already confirmed my email address, man. Again, I want to look at yesterday's earnings. Again, NVIDIA drops their earnings on the 23rd, which is going to be crazy big, you know, on the 23rd. That's a big release. Again, Tesla breaking down. Here's the SPY at 449s. Sucks. Like, I don't think they're letting me dude, earning whisper going charging now. That sucks. I mean, I guess I could sign out, but all right, big pop up here. Let's see if it's Moderna. Again, it's still pretty early. I hope Tesla squeezes today. Let me do a poll here. I think we did a poll already, actually. So 67% saying, or no, over that, 70% saying yes, the market bounces today. And the market's down. There's the SPY bouncing. I'm trying to look at Moderna to see if Moderna's out. I see a big surge in movement, and it is Moderna. Moderna did just release their numbers here. Here's the Moderna numbers. Y'all do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can see the Moderna numbers in the chat right now. Moderna ended up posting second quarter EPS of 362, beat the 384, or missed the 384 estimate, so they missed it. Here's Moderna. Sales beat expectations by a lot, but it's surprising how this is down. You know, it really is. It's surprising how this is up. You know, this looks like a miss to me, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You know, but it looks like a miss to me. I don't know what's going on here for Moderna, but it's going up right now. It's up to 111s. I guess revenue beat expectations, but here's Moderna pop. It's at 111s now. So you can see it's at 111.06. All right, Moderna trying to hold. It's at 111.50s now. SPY moved up on this data. And a lot of the market moved up too. Let me hit some coffee. I got to wake up a little bit. PayPal, where's PayPal at? I'll buy PayPal if it's cheap enough. Only if it's cheap enough, though. PayPal down to 67s. Let me look at the daily chart. PayPal's down, but like, I might buy a little bit, but it's not going to be that much. All right, Moderna is still ripping up. Let's see if it holds. Again, we're watching AMD too. Looking to buy that dip now. Yeah, does PayPal bounce back? I don't know. That's what I'm watching for that. We'll see if it does. I hope it does. I'm watching for it. Again, we're working on some of our accounts. We're close to getting funded in some of these today. Like, we could potentially get funded on our 150K one. Green on that one on the day, building up a cushion first. But the market basically turned back. Here's the 200 EMA. Again, I don't know what it's going to do with the 200 EMA, but I was reading this article, got 5,000 buy and hold these 3 value stocks for years, and Disney is one of them, including AT&T and Tesla. I like the diversification of that, but I don't know about AT&T is the only one I disagree with. Tesla's probably fine long term. Disney's probably fine long term. I don't know about AT&T. I think there's risks in AT&T. Yesterday was tough with MELI stock at close. Yeah, look at Moderna back up to 116, guys. It is ripping up on their earnings report. $362 estimates. Yeah, so Moderna came in with a smaller loss than expected. So again, whenever it has parentheses around it, it stands for a loss. Okay, so a smaller loss is better than a larger loss. Okay, so basically what this earnings report shows is that Moderna showed $3.62 in losses per share. When you compare that to the 382 estimates, it's better, right? So that's a beat. Revenue came in higher than expected as well at 344, which was a huge beat versus 290. And so both metrics were higher than expected, and Moderna's ripping up from that. You know, that's the way to kind of look at it. Is like both metrics came in better than expected. Moderna is pushing up on that data release. And yeah. Again, PayPal is down. Maybe there's an argument for a PayPal trade. I don't know. Again, today we have Apple and Amazon earnings, and those are going to be crazy. We'll see if they're good. So basically, Moderna showed a smaller loss than expected and higher revenue than expected. And that's good. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, I don't know anything about MELI stock. Yeah, I don't know that stock at all. I try to stick with what I know in trading. I just don't know that one. Again, y'all do me a favor, bump those like numbers up if you haven't already. Let me check Twitter. I haven't looked at it this morning. Get a little bounce back up in the NASDAQ here, mostly from Moderna. Let's see if this bounce back up continues. The Meg 2 came out. Was it good? Did anybody see it? All right, guys, and again, we're watching the E-mini. We're watching Moderna to see what impact this has. Moderna all the way up to 118s. Again, much higher than expected revenue here for mRNA. Again, we'll see if that means anything significant. But, hey, thank you. I hit the like. I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you, sir. What's up, puppy? Yeah, it's still pretty early. It's 5:40 in the morning, my time. So we're just still gathering people, and that's okay. No, Moderna's up. Moderna's up a lot from this report, actually. So Moderna has gone today from 109s all the way up to 118s. So a pretty big move. They're up $9 a share. And so again, let me know if Moderna keeps bouncing back to you all. Yeah, did anybody get banned today? I don't know. Somebody's messaging me on Twitter telling me they got banned because they were talking about MELI. I didn't ban anybody. So I'll just tell. Oh, they deleted their tweet already. All right, well. All right, so Ryan Cohen posted something on July 17th that said, GameStop is a large Microsoft customer, Satya. I've been trying to reach you and being ignored, end quote. Thoughts? Watching Moderna again, the SPY's pretty flat today. Volume's light. I think a lot of people are waiting for the economic releases that we got going on today, with specifically Apple and Amazon earnings coming out this evening. Very relevant releases that will move markets for sure. Apple and Amazon stocks do move markets without question, and it's going to be something that a lot of traders are paying attention to. We're going to stream the entire release live and then Apple earnings afterwards. Apple earnings are one of our largest streams, so we'll have thousands of people here watching it after the bell today. And so, yeah, stick around. We'll see what happens. Do you think the market will continue to tank today? I don't know. I don't know what the market's going to do. All I know is that lately, over the last couple weeks, I've been establishing long-term positions. Over the last few weeks, I've been buying into long-term positions, and again, the plan is just to hold these long-term. Again, I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know where they're going to go. I don't know anything. But again, the goal today, as is the goal every day, if the market dips, we'll buy more, hold long term. If the market rips, we'll sit. What's up, Pawn? Let me pull a Discord up. I don't think I pulled it up yet. Again, but Moderna earnings ripping the market a little bit today. Again, we got 30 likes. I love how this is public, but people demand to have access to you. Yeah, man. What you learn is, like, under anonymity, people are weird, What I've noticed, again, the people that get the weirdest are usually people who have their own struggles, like their own issues. Like, they'll never admit it, but that's really what it is, and it's all good. I wish them the best, I guess. Amazon is at close. Don't think the numbers can be out. Well, the numbers aren't out for Amazon yet, so not yet. Amazon numbers drop at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So they're evening earnings. The bigger earnings are usually in the evening, to be honest. So we made about $50 in our Express funded account today too. So we're up a little bit there, building a cushion in that one. Again, Moderna is out with their numbers. They showed a beat on both metrics, a smaller loss than expected and higher revenue than expected here. I have a question. Yesterday, I swing traded a stock for earnings. I got the earnings numbers from TradingView. Is there a better site? I like Moomoo, but Moomoo is the sponsor of mine. But yeah, if you want to check them out, they're one of my sponsors. But they've got a great economic calendar that shows you earnings as well, and it's just really useful when you're trying to look stuff up. I've been using them a lot lately, and they're pretty quick, surprisingly, with their data. So I'm still in Norwegian Cruise. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest. Moomoo not accessible for Europe. You could use Benzinga. You can use Earnings Whisper. There's a bunch of them you can use. NASDAQ looking choppy. I'm wondering if I should be trading the NASDAQ instead of the E-mini. I use this channel. Yeah, this channel covers them pretty quick, but sometimes I'm not live. So yeah, and this channel's kind of evolved over time. I think one thing that Alex Hormozy says, I've been listening to his book, $100 million offers. And so, again, what I've been listening to his book, and one of the things he says, and a lot of people say it, it's not just Alex Hormozy, to be honest, but like you have to always be evolving. If you're not evolving, you're not going to get where you want to be in business. And so my channel started off as like a penny stock channel where we day traded penny stocks mostly. After that, we kind of moved over to a little bit more careful of trading. We traded a mix of penny stocks and large caps. Then eventually we switched over to only large caps, and then we switched over to only the SPY. And then since we were trading the SPY and it was all relevant to economic data, then we started watching the economic data. Then we started reporting the economic data here until now. We're mostly an economic release channel now. And I kind of like it better this way. We definitely get more centralized volume now that the channel is like it is relative to penny stocks, where it's like we only really got views when penny stocks were running. Now we get views every week. We got at least one big stream every week of some type of economic data or earnings report. This week we already had AMD earnings that were pretty big. We had thousands of people here for that. And then, after the bell today, we got Apple and Amazon earnings, which are again pretty big releases. Apple earnings is Apple stock is one of the most heavily weighted stock. I was live yesterday. But yeah, Apple is one of the most heavily weighted stocks. It's number one on the S&P 500. And so when it releases earnings today, again, being number one weight in terms of weight on the S&P is a big weight. It's a big release. So definitely heavily weighted there. Hey, thank you, Mark. Slowly but surely grew. Yeah, we grew over time. It ended up working out, but burnout's real. I'll tell you that burnout's real. I've been doing the same thing every day for years. Burnout's real. What I will say is that it's a lot easier to deal with burnout when you make good money. If you're not making good money and you're whatever it is stagnating, then it's a lot harder to deal with burnout. And that's just a objective truth, I think. Yeah, Apple Amazon earnings will be interesting. Yeah, so a couple people are asking me again, and this is just kind of some education on earnings, guys, so that y'all understand how to interpret an earnings report. Whenever a company puts parentheses around its EPS, that means that it's losing that much, right? So again, parentheses means a loss. So what this earnings report really reads as, it says Moderna second quarter EPS 362 loss per share, beats 384 loss per share because 360s is lower than 380, so it's less of a loss than expected. Sales of 344 million, which was way better and beat obviously the 290 million estimates. That's kind of what that report shows us here. So Moderna lost less than expected and had higher revenue. Yeah, I cut my Disney trade yesterday in profit. So I made money on Disney, sold it yesterday. Might add back if it continues to fall down. Yeah, I might add back if it continues to fall. Another trade that's been going really well is my SOXS trade, which I'm going to take a little bit of profit on right now that we can. I am in SOXS. Actually, I got to wait 6 minutes before I can take profit because I did use TOS for this one. But it's a microchip short ETF. It's a bear microchip ETF. And I ended up buying that one. My average is 830s. It's at 940s right now. I thought the microchip stocks could be a little extended, arguably. They're So looks like we were right about that one. Yeah, Disney earnings next week will be fun to cover too, and we'll cover those especially. All right, again, Moderna's still up there, guys. Moderna's still trying to make moves, still up there, still consolidating. After this release, you can see Moderna on the right side here, still trying. We can pull up something like AMD here on the right. Well, I mean, it depends on which platform. It's not actual Top Step. Um, it's specifically Trade Evade. I think that's having issues. I'm in Quant Tower. Again, I highly recommend Quant Tower if you're on Top Step. Quant Tower is just a better platform, in my opinion. It works better. It's more useful, and ultimately it glitches less. I haven't had any issues on Quant Tower over the last couple of days. It's been great. A lot of people have had Trade Evade issues lately, which again, Trade Evade's used not just by Top Step, but a lot of the other platforms too. Top Step's just the most legit platform, but I know Trade Evade has had some issues lately. Just the platform itself. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna really plug. Yeah, sorry, D2. We're not really gonna plug other traders or other, you know, other channels. Sorry, bro. Yeah, Trade Evade's the one that's had the issues lately, but they're getting it straight. But yeah, it's been mostly Trade Evade problems. Have you considered charging people? No, I'm not going to charge money for anything. No, all good, D2. Again, I'm just not going to charge money for anything. So, like, they can have that niche. I make enough money doing what I'm doing, giving away content for free to where I don't really need to charge people to watch me. When you start charging people to watch you, it becomes different. You end up starting to kind of like fudge your numbers and pretend, I guess, for lack of a better word, in order to justify people paying for it. And so I think starting to charge for content is a slippery slope that I personally just don't want to be involved with. Again, it's too I see it happen to a lot of traders where they start charging people, and then instead of being honest with people about like losses or trades, they start to kind of fudge their numbers to justify people paying for their services. Because it's like, if you're charging a bunch of people for a service and you lose a bunch in a row, that might be a hard thing to be like, hey guys, I just lost a bunch. You might have some people that are like, hey, why am I paying for this? Even though that's not really reasonable. Everybody loses, but like, and we certainly lose. I mean, half the time we trade off stream, like we do a bunch of stuff, so we're not guaranteeing anything here. But yeah, again, just slippery slope starting to charge people, just not something I particularly want to do on my end. Please, I mean, no, I have no idea, OG. I'm not Quant Tower, brother. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, anything about that, bro. Again, we're gonna go in and unload a piece. All right, so we just got out a piece of our microchip ETF. Market seems to be moving up on something. I don't know if it's like news or Tesla, Nvidia news or what, but y'all notice anything else? I see Moderna start to fall. I see the SPY rip up though, so the SPY just ripped up. I realized when news came out, it spikes up almost immediately. Well, there's a lot of people buying in the markets. It's not just one. So the Bank of England votes 8-1 to lift rates by 25 basis points, taking bank rate to 5.25 as expected. So this might be the rate hike decision by the Bank of England. Here's the numbers right here. We'll put that number up on screen. But yeah, I realized when news came out, it spiked up almost immediately. So who buys so quickly and boosts up the price other than retail traders, insiders? Well, it could be anybody, to be honest. We don't ever know. Yeah, so we don't ever know like who's doing it. So I mean, nobody really knows. I appreciate the donation though, brother. Thank you, man. But it could be anybody and anything, you know. Again, Moderna did drop their earnings. We had Hyatt Hotels drop their numbers too. Again, Moderna popped up a little bit. We're also dropping the rest of these earnings numbers that came out today. I don't see any other ones high yet. I see the Bank of England. Any other news? All right, so here's the breakdown of markets today, guys. So we do have a little breakdown in markets today. Markets are pretty choppy. Markets are really just kind of stopping people out this morning, it looks like. Going up and down, up and down. Again, the Bank of England August NPR forecasts. ConocoPhillips just released their COP. Very choppy market here too, guys, so y'all just be careful. Let me see. Yeah, I know Top Step has some trade of it issues. Trading on the Express Fund account a little bit today as well. Again, big earnings this evening. Big earnings. Got a little cushion on one of my accounts. All right, so if you're having issues with Top Step, this is what they're saying. Warner Bros. Just reported their numbers too. So Top Step saying account creation times are prolonged. So basically, to get your login, the queue times are dwindling down in a rapid fashion. So they're getting better, and they expect systems to be back to normal by the end of day Thursday. So that's kind of how it goes. But it might take a little while. I mean, again, that's not too crazy to expect with the mass increase in signups, I think. And Bitcoin. All right, so again, I'm looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been bullish since the first. On 29. So again, any other news, let me know. Get earnings out the way. So again, today earnings, we had PayPal yesterday, Shopify, QCOM yesterday. Pretty bad release, to be honest, for all these. This evening, we have Amazon, Apple. Today, we had Budweiser as well, BUD. And Moderna came in better than expected. Media. Fiverr drops their numbers early in the morning. They beat. Yeah, so we also had Fiverr release their numbers here. All right, so we do every day we do a breakdown post of what's going on in the market. Today we talked about the Bank of England rate hike. We'll see how many people truly support this channel, and we definitely appreciate it. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Again, go to that post, hit the follow button, hit the heart button. And again, you can kind of see the link right there if you want to check it out. Yeah, I saw the Bank of England rate hike decision as expected, 25 basis points. Again, there's the link right there if you want to help support me on Twitter. Give me a follow on Twitter. We definitely appreciate it. Again, looking at our poll today, we said, does this market bounce back today? 60% say yes, 40% say no. Yeah, so WBD, Warner Bros. Honestly, it's surprising how cheap Warner Bros. Is. Like, there's Moderna. Here's Warner Bros. Upon is right. So Upon mentioned this one ripped all the way up to 1350, down to 1250s now. So a big drop, mostly from earnings. It looks like Warner Bros. Ended up showing EPS miss, sales miss. So here's the Warner Bros. Numbers. They missed both metrics. I wonder if that's going to affect like AMC and other stocks like associated with it. You can kind of see those numbers right there. So here's the Warner Bros. Numbers. Again, they came in worse than expected on everything, basically. Market's a little flat ahead of this big release, too. Again, if you're on Top Step, though, Top Step is basically saying that they think everything's going to be settled. At end of day Thursday, everything should be squared away. All right, market's pretty flat. Nvidia, we're watching Nvidia also here. Still green on Snapchat. Again, guys, hit the heart button on this page if you haven't already. We got 260 people here, so if you can take the time, hit the heart button on this page. Yeah, tech earnings today are going to be big. Yeah, Top Step running into some issues with, trade evade is what it is. Yeah, so for Top Step, y'all just be careful with or not be careful, just be patient. No, I didn't see that, Sam. Yeah, Todd, I'm not sure, brother. You're gonna have to reach out to them if you need help with that, man. Again, I'm not sure. I don't have a Mac computer, man, so I don't know what you should do there. I would look for a web-based platform. TopStep does have a bunch of platforms, man. It's not just one. Let me see. So when I sign up, if I sign up for one, you can use Sierra Charts, CTS, RTrader Pro, Multi Charts, Volfix, Bookmap, Trade Navigator, Investor RT. There's a bunch of platforms, man. It's not just one. Order flow trading, Cunningham trading systems, Jigsaw trading, So it's not just one. I would just research the one that, Again, I like Quant Tower. So if you don't have a, if you have a Windows, I would use Quant Tower. But everybody's different, man. All right, so we're just kind of sitting quiet here. There goes Warner Bros. Popping all the way back up. We're looking at Moderna here, MRNA. It's moving back up. It's at 115s as well. The market itself, like the SPY, is starting to creep back up, but we've been basically flat for the last couple minutes here. Got a little bit of a cushion on our 150K combine. Still looking at the rest of the news here as well. Yeah, I'm not sure why Warner Bros. Is spiking. I see the SPY back over the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. So the SPY is back over the VY, back over the um, all right, stock's starting to be very choppy. Again, here's the SPY today. We just haven't really done much. Like if you look at the SPY, that's where we currently are. Again, we do have jobless data coming out today too. Very important. So we did have Moderna numbers. Market is finally coming down some here. All right, so there's a breakdown in the market here. Did get a little flush in the NASDAQ, though. The NASDAQ's really starting to break fast. All right, guys. Yeah, so trade evade. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm reading a lot of these different rules. What do you think about Disney? I just grabbed some. I took profit on Disney yesterday. Um, and it looks like it was the good move because Disney dipped back down. It could be a point where I buy Disney back up here, though. And so maybe I will, actually. Yeah, so we just bought a little piece of Disney for fun. We sold yesterday at the open. And so we missed out on this big drop, which is great. Nvidia is still breaking down, and we are in that SOXS trade. Watching the market break, NASDAQ break it down a little bit. De facto customer service. What are you talking about, man? I have a question. Which data do you think will be more impactful in the markets? Jobless claims data or tomorrow's unemployment data? Tomorrow's unemployment will be way more influential than today's jobless claims data. Jobless claims data, to put into perspective, drops once a week, right? So this drops in about an hour, but it drops weekly. And so it's much different than the once a month unemployment data. It's just, well, way different. It's just way different, to be honest. Here's the jobless data here. We got about an hour before the jobless claims numbers come out. Watching it, but yeah, jobless claims data, again, they drop once a week. So that's much different than the once a month unemployment. And unemployment's going to just be much more profound and influence over markets than jobless claims ever will be, just because of the rate at which it drops. Jobless claims are just the amount of people filing for unemployment, so it's a little bit different release. But jobless claims today are expecting at 227,000. So again, higher means less people working. Higher means less people working. So let me know what you guys think this number will show up as. Pfizer's down a lot too. Might be time for me to buy the dip. Pfizer just broke lows. Pfizer's probably down on Moderna's miss. I just don't know enough about Pfizer. I was in a swing trade of it, but I ended up taking profit on that swing trade a couple days ago. So I actually missed most of this drop. Looking at the Pfizer news, UBS adjusted their price target to 36 from 38. Price targets were changed. Mostly downgraded a bunch for Pfizer lately. All right, so Challenger job cuts did just hit the market. They showed 23.697K. Challenger job cuts. Again, markets bouncing up a little bit after drops most of this morning. Markets are pretty flat, though, and choppy. They're just not looking that great. Thank you, Davey. Yeah, I mean, I could buy Pfizer. If I do buy it, which I might buy a little bit, it's going to be small, and it's just a diversification. Actually, I'm too nervous about this one. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this one or not. The reason I'm nervous is because they're losing some revenue from. Hey, thanks, Davey. But yeah, they're losing some revenue from dwindling. You know what profits? So I C word profits. So I just don't. I'm just not gonna mess with them today. Maybe I'll buy a little bit more later, but for now. Yeah, I'm also just getting chopped out of some stuff today too, man. It's just really choppy day, no big edge. So now we're down about 360 in our 150K combine. And so I'm probably going to stop trading this morning. We've taken a couple trades. Just hasn't really turned out the best. The market is incredibly flat, mostly from the earnings that are coming out today. So mostly with the earnings coming out today, the market's incredibly flat. Shout out to everybody that hit the heart button on my page. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Jason. Nvidia is still breaking down a little bit. Again, the job cuts don't seem to be moving the market, but you can kind of see how flat the market is today. Again, here's the SPY. The SPY basically all morning has done this. That's the market right now. Again, this is the market right now, which is very flat, very neutral. Unity kind of stagnant after yesterday's call, but watching. What did Unity do yesterday? Unity dipped. I don't know. No, oh no, Unity bounced. I don't know enough about Unity to say whether it's good or not. I really don't know. I really don't know if it's good or not. Again, I'm not taking any trades on the NASDAQ or the SPY for sure today. August, I can't remember how I usually do in August. It's been a while. All right, so if you're on a Mac, again, on Top Step, you can use T4 Cunningham. You can use Motive Wave, and that's it. So you can use those two platforms. If you want mobile, you can use T4. You can use R Trader Pro. You can use Motive Wave as well. Again, T4 looks like a good option too, which is CTS. We're watching everything else. Let me know if you guys see anything that looks good for a dip. Again, Apple and Amazon earnings are going to be a real tell here. They're going to be very important, very relevant for everything going on. Jobless claims data. Motive wave. Yeah. Yeah, August is usually bullish, I think. September's bearish typically, but it varies. Gold possibly going to find you. What's gold doing? I haven't really looked at gold today. Gold is down. Up a little bit on the day, though, but down nonetheless. Again, market's too flat for me to really push anymore in trading. There's not really any good edge, I think, right now. Yeah, downgrade affected it for sure. Again, I'm waiting for the market open to trade. I've tried to take a few trades today. We're red and everything, so I'm just going to sit. Again, market's still pretty flat and neutral. Apple today, guys, is expecting. Sorry, we're kind of peeping out a lot of different things today. Apple is expecting earnings after the bell today. So is Amazon. Apple is expecting 119 profit per share in EPS on 72.81 billion in sales. And so one thing that you'll notice here, and I think this is very interesting regarding like margins as a company. If you want to know why Apple is like the gold standard of investing, right? Apple specifically. The reason Apple is the gold standard is because Apple specifically here shows 119 EPS versus Amazon, if we want to compare the two, showing 34-cent EPS, right? Both of those, Apple and Amazon, both of those are huge companies, but Apple's margins are better and they show less revenue. And so for Apple, they're making about $1.19 per share in EPS, which is profitability. It's a gauge on profitability. When you compare that to Amazon making only 34-cent per share in EPS, so profitability only 34 cents per share. And then when you look at the revenue, it's even more different. So Apple's only bringing in about 73 billion in revenue every quarter. You compare that to Amazon. Amazon's bringing almost twice that at 130 something billion, right? Yet Apple is still making more than Amazon is per share, which is, again, really interesting. Amazon, I know they've been spending money. They're expanding, and Amazon's huge. And so Amazon's not going anywhere, of course. But that's why, Apple's margins are some of the best in the game. And I think that's why, is because You know, obviously when you look at Apple, they're going to be okay long term. What type of liability are you speaking of, Stuart? He says Amazon's business has too much liability in order to make money. In what way? Is there a list of what we can and cannot trade? Yeah, Top Step has a list. Just go to their site. Uh, And we still got about 45 minutes before jobless claims data. You can see what the expectational numbers are at the bottom here. Again, market is very flat. If I pull up like the E-mini, for instance, here, right? So the E-mini, just choppy, man. Look at this. It's just going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. Just not really doing anything that looks really easy or favorable to trade for me personally here. Yeah, but I think Amazon makes it back. Amazon makes it back on just being huge. Like if you're going to order something off the internet, you're probably going to do it on Amazon. And again, I think in order to have the type of efficiency they do, I think they have to sacrifice margins to a certain extent. And I think that's okay because what they're conditioning people to do is use their products, is use their service, right? By having such an efficient service where you can order something and get it the next morning, that is making that is conditioning people to use their service is what it is, right? That's conditioning people to say, hey, if I need something, I'm going to Amazon. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is like, even though Apple's margins are much better, Amazon is still going to be fine long term because again, they might be sacrificing margins to have that conditioning for their consumers, but that's going to benefit them long term. So I think it's understandable, I guess is the point. Now their PE ratio, I believe, is still pretty high, but regardless, it's interesting. Again, jobless claims data dropping this morning here, guys. Jobless claims numbers expected at 8:30. They are expected to show at 227,000. Again, let me know if they're going to come in higher or lower. I'm going to do a poll today. We did a poll already. Does the market bounce? 60% of people say yes. We're going to do a poll. Does jobless claims come in higher or lower than expected? Higher. Option lower. And then we're going to do another one for as expected, which is rare. But again, let me know if you guys think it's going to come in higher or lower than expected. There's the poll there. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Again, MRNA back up. Let's look at AMD. Here's AMD today. AMD has been on a dip. And this is with good earnings here. Now, the question I have is AMD worth a buy right now? Is AMD worth a buy right now is my question. I don't know if it is or not. I think there's definitely an argument for it. I think AMD showed good earnings and then ripped up, and now they're finally pulling back some with the rest of microchips. Like if AMD hits 100, I might consider buying it up too. Amazon's profitable. Again, to put this into perspective, right? Amazon's been on a growth phase. All right, so if we take a look at Amazon EPS, they're profitable. To put it into perspective, in the last 2 years, In the last 2 years, Amazon has had profitable quarterly results in 6 out of the last 8 quarters. So Amazon's profitable. Now, again, they do sacrifice margins to a certain extent, but again, in that regard, Amazon's green on the year. The last 3 quarters have been profitable for Amazon. They had a couple losing quarters back in the early 2020s or 2022s, but they're profitable. They make money. I mean, it's Amazon. You got to think of how many consumers use Amazon, and it's a lot. If we take a look at their stock, their PE ratio is a little bit high, but stock's at 128 right now. What's the graph look like on this one? All right, so what's the yearly graph? Amazon has been one of those stocks that I don't invest a ton into. All right, so yeah, here's Amazon this year. So Amazon is basically gone up pretty big percentages, man, is what this looks like. So Amazon has gone from 82s all the way to 130s. So they've gone up $50 a share for an $80 stock. That's like 60%, 60 something, 50 something, 60 something percent this year in 2023. Amazon has wildly led the market this year, up more than the S&P is. So Amazon, in terms of stock, is doing well. But again, whenever something's this extended on the upside, I'm skeptical of it. Yeah. I mean, I think Amazon understands that, like, you got to evolve over time, and I think they've consistently been evolving. And you got to spend money to make money, especially if you're them. And so they're expanding so that they can be the largest. I mean, they're obviously the largest online retailer, but I think their expansion lately, might affect their margins, but we'll see what they show. Baba, I wouldn't say is extreme. I mean, let me look at Baba. Number one, Baba numbers are influenced by the government over there. So, that's one of the realities of it, is that they're going to be influenced by some stuff over there. If we look up Baba in the same way we just looked at Amazon here. So, like, here is Amazon's graph. We can go up and just type in Baba here. Yeah, so Baba has had just as many quarterly struggles. In fact, yeah, so Baba is basically exactly like Amazon. I think a lot of stuff struggled retail-wise in early 2022 is what it looked like. Baba has had more recent struggles as well. But yeah, so again, you can kind of see Baba's probably doing a little bit worse than Amazon. And again, speaking of all this, we are dipping down some in markets. Yeah, where's Tesla at? People talking about Tesla. Let's take a look. So here's Tesla. Tesla breaking down to 250s. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I think everybody uses them. They're just going to grow and keep growing. What's up, Beach Bum? What is your business, Melissa? Baba used to have 20 to 30% net profit margin until they got, yeah. I mean, again, what happened? What happened with Baba was that Jack Ma came out with very critical statements of the CCP. is what happened. So Jack Ma came out with very critical statements. I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. He should be aware enough to understand he couldn't do that. And so he came out with very critical statements. And then after that, he disappeared for like a long time. Alibaba lost billions in value, billions of dollars in value over the next like year or two, I think. And then he reappeared and showed back up again. I think what happened was like the government basically took a large chunk of Alibaba after that and, controlled it. And so that's something that certainly happened. It's really interesting when you look at Alibaba. You can kind of see. And again, I believe Jack Ma should have known better. But Baba has had a rough year this year too. It's down on the year, down to $90 a share. When you zoom out even more, I mean, all of this stuff started right around here. 315s, 316s. Alibaba was at 3 in 2020, dropped all the way down to $95. The thing Amazon has that allows margins to be lower is volume. Right, exactly. Amazon's got everybody. Again, everybody uses Amazon, which is the big thing. Like, everybody uses them. And so Pepsi. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, Admirals. I'm not. Of course, there's outliers. Like there's always outliers. Like, yeah, you got some people that don't use them. Wow, for Pepsi, look at this. So we drew this trend on Pepsi a long time ago, and it stayed in this trend. Pepsi's been on the same trend now. So, problem is it's just so extended up there, along with a lot of other stuff, I guess. All right, guys, we got 35 minutes before jobless claims numbers. 35 minutes. Again, today, guys, all we need is 50 subs to hit 112K. It's been a slow couple of days of economic stuff. It's just we haven't had that much economic data coming out, but yeah, it's been slow. Netflix is down to 420s. But Netflix has just had such a good year. So if we look up Netflix here, Netflix has had a great year. It had a pretty rough year last year, but like here's basically this year of Netflix. So Netflix has gone from Netflix has gone from 280s. Wait, well, what did just pop up? Okay, financial events, gotcha. Yeah. So again, Netflix has gone from 290, 280s all the way to 430 right now, basically, which is a huge increase, obviously, in price. So for me, Netflix is a hard buy. I need a dip to really start buying stuff. Again, y'all do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's break over 100 likes real quick if we can. Again, we got some big earnings today. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, you could wait for a dip. And again, I ended up taking some positions here. And the reason I took some positions was simple, is that like I think it's really easy for traders to sit around waiting for pullbacks constantly, but I think that over time, you got to understand that the natural state of the market is that it goes up. And so if you're always waiting for pullbacks, sometimes you might miss out on big moves. It depends on how long you're holding the positions, though. Like for me, a lot of the stuff I bought are stuff that are down. Like I'm holding Walgreens, I'm holding TSN, I'm holding TGT, I'm holding SOXS, which is an extension on the upside. I'm holding, a couple different positions here. General Mills, I'm holding stocks that are down. That way, even if we do pull back, some of these are already going to be extended on the downside that they could potentially bounce back. Again, and today we have Amazon earnings. We got Apple earnings. Apple currently sitting at 191s. Still not over 200 yet. A lot of people thought we would break it by now, but I mean, Netflix is already big. Again, NVIDIA dipping down today as well at 438.20s for NVIDIA 438s. And jobless claims today, guys, expected at 227. Again, jobless claims numbers today, guys. Let me see if we get anything else. Again, we got our timer up. We still got 30 minutes before these numbers release. Again, I stopped trading because, again, we might be able to find a somewhat of a trend here in the market. Like, we can see somewhat of a trend, but like it's not really looking like the easiest day to trade the S&P in pre-market. Here's the timer. We'll put the timer right there. But like, yeah, if we look at this here and we try to draw like a trend. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I want the ray. Yeah, so like, look. Like, here's the trend, but it also might be converging deep. Like, it might be thinning out down here. So again, we'll see. NVIDIA bouncing back up a little bit, but again, mostly choppy action right now. What are banks doing? Again, I would invest in some banks, but they're up a lot too on the year. If you put a daily chart up on JP Morgan, they're up a lot. Maybe we could find some other banks, but I think like Bank of America looks okay. On the year, BAC is down. Wells Fargo, flat. Yeah, it's pretty choppy right now. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a downtrend, but again, the market's so flat that it's hard to tell with this. Like, again, you might be able to see a trend here. Not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment, trade responsibly. It looks like a downward trend, but like, I don't know. Again, I think you got to just be careful here, guys. Jamie Dimon was on CNBC yesterday. So yeah, so he's the CEO of, all right, so here's the 8 a.m. scrum. So Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan. I don't know about Disney. I don't know if you should buy it or not. Again, I'm not sure. I've made money on it the last couple days, but I don't know whether you should buy it or not. About break even on target. Yeah, I mean, Finch, put out basically a downgrade on the US. They said the US got bumped down from AAA rating to AA plus. And so, yeah, I don't know what we're going to get there. But there's the 8 a.m. scrum. You can kind of see the opening volatility that we get from days like this. Again, this is not an actual price action. This happens with all brokers that I've used. Again, there's Apple. Let's look at Tesla here. Here's Tesla on the on the right side. Tesla doing the same thing. Again, we'll let this settle down a little bit. This doesn't really mean much. So again, settling down a little bit. We'll see if we get a bounce in the market. Again, you can kind of see the platforms. All right, so again, we're going to let the scrum settle down. We got 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah, I don't know where the Disney support is. Again, I took profit on Disney on the latest trade back at the, I took profit on it at like the $88 level. All right, so there's the scrum. The scrum should be over with. Here's the SPY. It's just the 8 a.m. scrum. This happens every morning with everything, basically. Again, if you want to see a full breakdown of what's going on in the market today, give me a follow on Twitter. All right, what's up, dramatic? Again, do me a favor, bump the like button here. We appreciate it. Looking at our poll numbers, we did do a poll, 177 votes. 41% think they're going to come in higher than expected. 37% say lower. 21% say as expected. Again, today we do have Apple Amazon earnings coming out this evening. Y'all be ready for that. That's one of the biggest releases we get. All right, and again, remember, guys, so the market might be a little bit quiet today ahead of the Apple and Amazon earnings. A lot of the time, like with these big earnings releases, the market's a little bit slow. The reason it's slow on days like today is because the market can be apprehensive, waiting for things to settle down a little bit. You know what I mean? So the market could be just waiting. They don't want to take big positions today because ultimately, we could get big volatility once these earnings reports are out today. And again, that's a big thing that you want to pay attention to and watch for. And again, we're going to be streaming the Apple and Amazon earnings this evening. Yeah, we got links everywhere. A thumbnail is the image we have, Joe. So what a thumbnail is the stream image. You mean the description. All right, guys, 22 minutes, 21 minutes until these numbers are released. Again, a little bit slower day. Again, we don't really have any big economic data today. The next few weeks are going to be big, though. Like to put it into perspective, next week is CPI week. And so next Tuesday, we get the CPI report, or it might be Thursday. Let me see. I believe it might be Thursday, actually. Next Thursday is the CPI report. So next Thursday, CPI and jobless claims. Friday is PPI. The week after that, we should get some other stuff. But again, so next Tuesday, we got AMC earnings. A couple of other earnings reports, I think, as well. Tomorrow, we do have Fubo NKLA earnings that are dropping also. All right, looking at other news today. The Labor Department jobless claims, second quarter productivity data drops at 8:30. Again, today we got Apple, Amazon, Warner Brothers drop, Discovery, ConocoPhillips, Moderna, Cigna, Kellogg, Coinbase at the end of the day today. Hyatt dropped already. All right, so there's another hedge fund that just started. It's called Freestone Grove Partners. It was started by Citadel and BLK executives. They aim to raise up to $4 billion. The debut is expected next year from Bobby Jane, the former co-chief investment officer at Millennium Management. All right, so Meta's put out Ray-Ban smart glasses. All right, so Ray-Ban Stories is what the new Meta glasses are called. Less than 10% are used monthly. 13% were returned out of 300K that were sold since September of 2021. Again, market consolidating a little bit. 20 minutes exactly until we have the jobless claims report coming out. Also, guys, we're just kind of sitting back waiting for the rest of this data to come out today. And then again, the opening bell, we'll see what happens. Fisker does drop their numbers tomorrow as well with NKLA. Both Fubo, NKLA, also Fisker are all expecting losses per share tomorrow. IEP, Icon Enterprises, which has had a really rough year. If we look at IEP, is expecting to release their earnings as well tomorrow. Here's IEP's year. It's been a rough one. They dropped from they dropped from like $50 all the way down to 17s at one point, 18s. I mean, they're currently at 33s right now. They release earnings. They're expecting a 25-cent profit per share on 2.66 billion in revenue estimates. And so we'll see if they hit that also. No, I don't have that Reliant. Tupperware. Tupperware finally pulling back after its crazy big run. I mean, Tupperware ripped all the way up to almost $6 a share. You know, to put it into perspective, Tupperware was at 61 cents July 19th. It is August 3rd, so it's like a couple weeks later. And Tupperware has gone from 61 cents all the way up to almost $6 and now back down to 350, less than 350 now. So very big volatility for Tupperware. Again, not my style of trade. I don't really try to chase the shiny things in the market. I think that's mostly for new traders. But if you made money on Tupperware, congrats. Again, just getting some normal consolidation now in the market here. Still in this trend. Haven't traded stocks at all today. I just don't trust anything yet on Moomoo at least. I don't trust anything yet for stocks and just choppiness. I just don't trust it. We still got 15 minutes before jobless claims numbers come out, guys. So we do have 15 minutes before that data release. Yeah, the E-mini and NASDAQ are not good at all in terms of price action. I just haven't really had any good results today on it. It hasn't been easy to trade. They've basically been pretty flat, neutral, and choppy, and I just don't want to get stuck in any more chop, to be honest. Again, let me know if you think the market is going to end green today. We got the jobless claims votes. 42% think higher than expected. 37% think lower. 21% think as expected. All right, we got about 500 people here. Still got 15 minutes before jobless claims drop. Again, are you green or red so far today, guys? Let me ask this. I'm probably red so far today, but it's small, and we haven't been trading super actively because of fear, basically. What outcome in case of higher? So higher jobless claims numbers signal more people filing for unemployment. You know, if you think about the name jobless claims, people claiming to be jobless, it's basically unemployment filings is what it is. If that makes sense. If you want to look at like the technical definition of jobless claims, measures the number of people who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during this past week. So, you know, this relative to like tomorrow's unemployment reading, it's a little bit different. Yesterday's is going to be based on, or tomorrow, tomorrow's numbers for unemployment are going to be a little bit longer scale. So like this is weekly numbers. Unemployment tomorrow is for the entire month of July, right? So unemployment expected tomorrow at 3.6%, 3.6%. And again, we'll see if we hit it or not. Still got about 15 minutes. Again, there's the SPY. We can look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's not really looking much better in terms of price action today. Slightly gapping down so far. You can kind of see it gapping down here in the NASDAQ. Q. This is the Q, which is the NASDAQ. So Q breaking down a little bit. Again, tomorrow we have unemployment and payroll numbers. Again, payroll numbers, prelim payroll numbers yesterday came in pretty big. I think they showed like 3 something today. Today we have jobless claims. Tomorrow we have non-farm payroll numbers, and those are expected to show up at 200,000. Payrolls, the non-farm data at least measures the change in the number of people employed during the prior month, excluding workers in the farming industry. And so again, what we're looking at here, like non-farm payroll numbers are basically gonna, like, higher non-farm numbers is gonna mean economic growth, more people working. Higher jobless claims numbers is going to mean the opposite, less people working, less economic growth. And whether the market's going to respond good or bad to these numbers is going to depend on what the market fears. The market fears inflation. They're going to, a higher jobless claims number might be good for the markets if the market's fearing inflation. If the market's fearing a recession, then typically they want economic growth. So, if the market's really inflation or really recession fearing, for instance, like they want less jobless claims and more payroll numbers, higher payroll numbers, which again, yesterday's prelim payroll numbers did show up much higher than expected. But that's not always a perfect tell of what we might get today. We got over 500 people here. So again, take the time, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Well, yeah, I mean, David, that just means that, again, what I will say is that a reaction to these numbers is not super predictable. So, like, it's not something where you should sit around, wait for, like, say, like, it's not as easy. The market's not as easy as that. Like, it's not going to be that easy to make money in the market. If it was that easy, we'd all be rich. If it was as easy as just kind of sitting around waiting for economic data to come out and then taking a position based off of that data, everybody would be rich, right? If it was that easy to make money, honestly, I would literally sit here, wait for CPI to come in low. When it did, buy the market and make money. Or if CPI came in high, sell the market and make money. Like, again, I wish it was that easy, but it's not, especially with jobless claims. Since it's a weekly release, it really is something where we don't know what the market's going to do in this regard. Like, we don't know what the market's going to do. We don't know if the market wants higher or lower numbers, especially for payrolls. Payrolls are even more nuanced. So it's something that we react to instead of predict. I'm not trying to predict what the market's going to go doing based off of these numbers. Again, every major economic report, you get some people saying, and yeah, CPI is going to come in high, and then it comes in low, and then the next time they say it's going to come in high. And so people always try to predict what CPI is going to do or what jobless claims are going to do. Most of the time they're wrong. And in the end, it's not really something that's super predictable, I guess is the easiest way to put it. Like, for instance, CPI last time showed, I can't remember what it showed last time. Let me see. CPI drops next week, which is the biggest economic release we have on this channel, excluding maybe the FOMC. But yeah, next Thursday, we get CPI data. CPI next Thursday is expected to show up at 3%. So a noticeable decline still relative to the previous one. 3% is pretty low here, in all honesty. So CPI is expected at 3%. It's not showing me what it was last time, but let me see if I can look at Market Watch. Okay. Yeah, so CPI showed up last time at 3%. We'll see what they're expecting tomorrow. Core CPI, which is excluding food and energy, they're all expected at 0.2% last time. Or they showed up at 0.2%. I remember CPI mostly came in as expected last time, if I remember correctly. And again, CPI drops once a month. That's the biggest economic release we get here on the channel. So important to watch. Again, less than 10 minutes. That's just the 8 a.m. scrum. Gas is back on the rise. Let me look at how much gas costs in my area. Gas currently about 2.93. It is up a little bit, but I mean, it's still about $3 a gallon. It's not crazy high. You just have to trade and buy what you see. That's all you can do. Data can screw up. Yeah, for sure. And again, nobody really knows what data is going to show up as. Nobody does. Again, I see people all the time make all these different predictions. Very rarely is anybody correct. I've actually been lucky and gotten, a couple exactly right in terms of CPI predictions over the last few. But like again, that was just pure luck. They're not super predictable, and the reaction to them is even less predictable. And so it's something that we just try to react to instead of predict, because predicting, again, nobody knows. Do you think the credit downgrade will affect today again? I don't know if it's going to affect today. I think it's going to be looming sentiment that people are paying attention to. So I think people are still watching that and paying attention to it. But whether it's going to influence the market today is not really easy to tell. All right, again, SPY pretty neutral here, dipping down over the last 10 minutes or so since 8:10 market time or so. We've dropped a couple minutes, about the last 12 minutes, mostly getting red action. The Q is the same here. Again, jobless claims today are going to be the interesting thing. Again, you can kind of see they are expected to show up today at 227,000. Houston, Nick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is in Houston. I'm Googling Houston gas prices. And in Houston gas prices, if you go to the Willcrest Drive gas station, the Valero has it at 293, Max Gas has it at 295. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at Houston. I'm not looking at, anywhere else. I'm looking at Houston. And gas prices are right around $3 a gallon, $2 to $3 a gallon. Or not 2 to 3. The gas is right around 290s to 310s is what it is, highs and lows. All right, so market's flushing down here. Again, guys, we got less than 5 minutes. About 650 here. Yeah, it's going to vary depending on where you live, though. All right, guys. Hey, we got 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Again, hit the like button on the channel. Make sure you hit this live button. If you want to make sure there's no delay on the stream, you want to make sure you hit this live button. It'll help you get caught back up on the stream if you haven't already. You can kind of see this live button right here. You want to make sure your live button is red like this. That way, you know you're fully caught up on stream. Market's starting to turn down a little bit ahead of these economic reports. So we are starting to get some turn down in markets now. Again, 227 is what they're expecting for jobless claims. 227 is what they're expecting. And so again, higher number here means less, or means more people filing for unemployment. A lesser number here means less people filing for unemployment. Again, the Q is down at 325. So we still got 3 minutes or so, a little bit less than that, but still got some time. Let's get all the sources ready. And again, hit the subscribe button. We're going to throw this in sub-only mode. Again, we only need less than 50 subs, I think, to hit 112,000 subscribers. It's been a crazy few years of growth, guys. So thank you so much. Again, hit the subscribe button. We are now in sub-only mode. So there's the link if you want to check it out. There's the sub-only mode. Announce yourself. Show us if you're subscribed. We are getting all this stuff ready for this report today. Again, jobless claims numbers expected at 227, guys. 227. Got a bunch of these different sources up. Again, less than 2 minutes now. Again, we also have initial claims that are expected, or no, we have continuing claims. Wait, continuing claims expected at 1.7 million. 1.7 million. Initial claims expected at 227,000. Still got a minute and a half left. All right, we are bouncing at that bottom of the trend. We drew this trend earlier. We've been kind of staying in that trend, but jobless data might affect this. Again, NVIDIA is still breaking down today. All right, so here's the release in about 45 seconds, guys. 45 seconds. Again, good or bad, vote on the poll. Let me know what you guys think. Again, 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds. $20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. Again, hit the subscribe button. We do this stuff for free every weekday morning right here. Again, here's the release. 5 seconds, guys. 5 seconds. All right, so there's it out. Jobless claims numbers. Non-farm productivity came in today. Jobless claims numbers showed as expected at 227,000, 227. Continuing claims showed as expected at 1.7 million, 1.7 million. The 4-week average for jobless claims came in at 228 versus 235 expected. Non-farm productivity came in much higher at 3.7%, 3.7% versus 2% expected. And the market is liking this data. As expected jobless claims numbers, the market is pushing all the way up to 450 or so, 449s at least. The Q was bouncing up as well at 372s. And so we are getting an influx of volatility here. We got about 800 people here. So again, we only need about 40-something subscribers left to hit 112,000. And so we will hit that today for sure with Apple and Amazon earnings. I'd love to hit it this morning though. And so if you can, subscribe. We definitely appreciate the love and support. Again, this doesn't mean anything. These numbers were pretty neutral. Pretty neutral. Again, the Q on the right side still trying here. Still bouncing up a little bit. Again, I'm not taking any trades yet. We're going to wait and see if we get some better volatility. Another little bounce up. Again, we're at about 449s in the SPY. On the Q, we're at about 372.60. Yeah, it's going to have to settle down. And so let's give it a couple minutes to subscribe to settle down a little bit. Again, we could reverse and just start falling down. It's certainly possible. So far, Q is actually red from the report now at 272.20s. Z. Again, we're reporting on short-term price action. And so we are talking relevant to jobless claims. You could always find a market where we're going down or up to confirm your bias. Like if you're short and you want the market to go down, all you got to do is look at a 5-day chart. The market's down. If I'm bullish, I could say, hey, let's look at a 1-day chart. Market's strong. It's all relative to time frame. Again, I'm looking at short-term time frame because we're covering this data release. And originally, after jobless claims came out, it did pop up. You can kind of see the big green candle. Look, here's the big green candle that happened right when jobless claims came out. It popped all the way up to 449.11. Q did as well. The Q popped all the way up to 373s. But yep, we are now turning around now. I guess in the end, stop being so emotional, Z. Again, Q at 372.20s, 372.20s. So again, let's see if it breaks down. We have the bottom of this trend line here. So if we break under this trend, it might signal big bearish action, but it doesn't mean we will. The Q is still falling down. We're at 372.20s. Again, 372.20s on the Q. Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you'll get people, it's like no matter what direction, like the market might move up 20 cents, but be red on the day. So the market might be red since the opening bell, but it bounces up over the last 3 minutes. And I'm like, hey guys, the market just bounced up. They're like, nah, the market's down. It's like, well, yeah, you could do that for any time frame. I could take a different time frame and say, no, that's a lie. But again, be confident in your bias, guys. Don't get mad at me for just reporting on price action, I guess is the point. Recession is dominating. Nah, we're not close to a recession. GDP data came in pretty good last time, I think. Even the Fed doesn't think we're going to hit a recession this year. Unemployment is low. GDP data is all right. Not saying we don't. Nobody really knows, but right now we're definitely not. Yeah, I mean, this is jobless claims. This drops weekly here, guys. This drops weekly. Again, if you haven't already checked out Moomoo, if you open up an account on Moomoo, you get and deposit at least $100, you get 5 free stocks. You open up an account, deposit at least 1,000, you get 15 free stocks. You open up an account, deposit at least 5,000, you get the previous 15 plus a free share of Google or Tesla. And Moomoo is really nice. Again, if you want to know how I'm finding these economic releases today, so if you want to know how I'm finding all this data today, here, let me find my screen. Again, I'll show you this here so you can try to use it like I am. Again, Moomoo, really useful for economic data, really useful. Again, if I pull this up, let me find it. There it is. If I pull this up, again, I can go to their Explore section and see a heat map. You can see the market was pretty red yesterday. I can look at what's moving in pre-market, see TTOO, T2 Biosystems, BMRA, a bunch of other ones moving. I can go to hot stocks and see what's really moving on the late. Lottery.com, Sono. I can go to hot strategies and see bearish flags, horn tops, bearish diamonds, and see what stocks and symbols are doing that. I can build a screener, and you can see I did build a screener here that shows me, where'd it go? I did build a screener there that shows me low PE companies with PE ratios under 40 that are at least 100 billion in market cap that are around 20-day lows. And again, you can kind of see all the stocks that fit that description. I can go to futures, dividend payments, IPOs, see broker rankings. If I go to Paperfolio, I can see what traders have in their portfolio and follow the ones that are doing the best. That way I can kind of mimic their trades if I want. I can go to their news section here, guys, which again, really, really useful. This is how I find economic releases. This morning thing shows me all the recent news in the market today. So if you want to know how I get it, I can go to calendar here and look at economic data. I could look at North America economic data with at least 3 stars. And again, you can see services, PMI, and non-manufacturing data later on this afternoon after jobless claims numbers. So we do have services and manufacturing, non-manufacturing data today. And again, I can see all the stuff, payroll numbers, unemployment tomorrow. I could also go to earnings and see what's going on in earnings. In any parts of the day, I can see Bush, a bunch of other ones drop today. So very, very useful. Again, zero commission stock trades open the entire time of pre-market. So just very useful. If you want to check it out, there is the link. Get up to 16 free stocks if you open up an account. Again, so next up on the day today, guys, we have we have non-manufacturing and services PMI. Very relevant release. Getting ready for this. I forgot we had non-manufacturing and services PMI. We also have Apple and Amazon earnings today, guys. Again, looking at the market here, market's bouncing nicely up, man. This trend line I've been using is following it really well. Where's my guy that said we were going down? Shout out to him. All right, so jobless claims numbers out. Market's still in this trend. The Q's breaking down a little bit more than like the SPY is, but it did bounce up a little bit as well short term also. You can see it right there. See the Q's sitting right at the 200 EMA volume weighted average price. And you can also see the SPY is testing that level now also. All right. Again, still in that trend, man. I got to start attacking the trends I use. And market's testing the top of that range. Again, we're right around the 200 EMA. All right, pulling all the way back, still in that trend, man. Again, I should be attacking that trend, I guess. Where's the link for what? Yeah, again, the credit report definitely pushed the market down a little bit. Anybody else having trouble on Apex and Tradeovate? Yeah, I mean, again, TopStep is one of my sponsors. They're a great sponsor. Tradeovate is, again, I guess the point is that it's not isolated to just TopStep. It's also happening on Apex. Tradeovate is having issues, right? And again, if you want to check out TopStep, they're a funded account program for futures where they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K in profit. And again, just really useful for day traders who want to actively day trade. The futures market has no PDT rule. You can day trade essentially the S&P 500 and what's called the E-mini. You can day trade the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver, no PDT restrictions in futures in a funded account program where they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass it, they fund you. Is really useful for traders to limit risk. Your risk is only $49. If you can pass it, again, 90% split. You get a lot of the rewards of putting up the money yourself without the risk. Again, right now, Tradeovate is having issues. And so if you do sign up with them, a couple things to understand. Again, number one, great option. They think all the issues are going to be fixed by tomorrow. Again, I can't confirm whether they will be, but again, a lot of their issues they say should be hopefully fixed by tomorrow. But again, these are mostly Tradeovate issues, and TopStep, because they get so many signups, they're the largest one in the world, I think. Again, they're having to deal with their customer support is kind of working overtime right now. And so if you do sign up, it might take a day or two to get your credentials, and that's okay. Again, they still have the $49 sale, which is the cheapest ever, but just have that expectation. And I would be careful using Tradeovate for the next few days. Again, Quant Tower is great. If you have a Windows computer, Quant Tower is my favorite platform by far. I have the option to use Tradeovate before these problems happen. I still like Quant Tower way more, but if you want to check them out, here is the link. A great way to help support the channel. Yeah, it's not everybody. Some people have issues. Some people have issues. It's not all of them, but some people do. Thanks for the answer. I can't log into Tradeovate today with my Apex account. Yeah, I mean, again, that's typical right now with the Tradeovate issues. I'm sponsored by TopStep. I think TopStep's a better platform or a better option, obviously, but, you know, it's subjective. But yeah, jobless claims data came in basically flat today, as expected. We did have productivity numbers come in at 3.7%, way higher. And again, I'll put the jobless claims and the productivity numbers up. Again, for the guy that got banned, listen, if you come in argumentative or like, if everything that you say is an argument with me, especially initially, then you're just going to get put in timeout. If it keeps going, you're just going to get banned. And so it's fine to have bias. It's another thing to just kind of sit around waiting to disagree. And again, if that happens, you're just going to get banned. You know, just a friendly warning to everybody. You know, should be pretty reasonable. Yeah, so Warner Bros. CFO expects fiscal year cash flow in US dollar to $4.5 to $5 billion. Yeah, usually it has to do with like bias, Smokies. Usually it's just bias. Like, okay, so the market obviously moved up from this report. That's what I was reporting on. But like, if you're short, me saying, hey, the market's moving up might make you kind of emotional. You know what I mean? So you might say, nah, man, you know, the market is down over the last 2 years. or whatever. But again, anybody can isolate a different time frame to argue, but like short term in the last 10 minutes, the SPY's up, the Q is up. And again, in the end, the overarching point I'm trying to make is don't be so emotional about your own positions or bias. I'm just reporting price action. SPY yeah, we'll see. Again, we'll see if it holds. Next, today we have non-manufacturing and services PMI, which is a big release. Again, we'll put a timer up. We got about an hour. We got about 58 minutes or so. Yeah, so here is when the next data release comes out. Again, SPY over the volume weighted average price. What is this right here? I don't want that EMA up. What the EMA is up there? Oh, there we go. All right, so we got the VWAP here. We got the 200 EMA up here. Kind of pushed right in between those two. Real estate investment trust and defense stocks are remaining strong. Yeah, I'm in RTX with a small share size. We already took profit on once and we're down on the rest, so we're kind of flat there. Yeah, I've never used Sierra charts. Again, market's still pretty neutral here. I'm trying to avoid taking like crazy big positions today, just because again, I just don't know if the market is that favorable for me right now in terms of trades. Again, we do have Apple and Amazon earnings, which are huge earnings today. They will move markets, and so I think a lot of traders are going to be apprehensive right now, waiting. Nobody ever subscribed to this guy, George DeFi. He's literally using bots on Twitter to send everybody crap. Nobody follow him. That should be shamed. This guy should be shamed. Let's see. Hold on, guys. What was that? My son's balloon popped. Bring me that thing right now. Yeah, so we got the Q and the SPY, the NASDAQ and the S&P on the left and right. S&P's on the left, NASDAQ's on the right. Okay, thank you. Yeah, don't play with this, man. You understand? All right, love you, buddy. All right. All right. All in Tesla. Yeah, I mean, again, the whole market's dipping down some, but we'll see if Tesla ends up bouncing. So I am using Moomoo right here. So this is Moomoo right here. It doesn't cost anything per month. It's free. Gives you great scanners. Gives you I get a lot of good stuff. They give you the scanner I built shows me low PE ratios. The great scanner, zero commission stock trades. The reason I moved over from TOS is because I could actually trade in early pre-market. Like I start the stream at 5 a.m. my time. I can't trade on TOS at 5 a.m. So I gotta, that's the reason I switched. Yeah, it's Moomoo. You can see the link to it if you want to check it out, guys. Again, if you look above the chat and you look at the get up to 16 free stocks, you get up to 16 free stocks if you open up an account and deposit. You can click the link right there. Again, it's right above the chat. If you want to get your free stocks for opening up an account and depositing, the link is right above you. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased in their favor, of course, because they pay me money. But again, I think they're pretty cool. Bro, people are so dumb, dude. Like, bro, how many people are like believe this crap? Get a loan for 500,000. Yeah, like get a loan for $500,000, guys. Buy 3 cars, rent them for $5,000 a day, make back your money after 10 days, guys. Do this with 10 cars and make 150K weekly. Like, bro, like how dumb do you got to be to believe this stuff, dude? No offense to anybody at home, but like, listen to me, okay? Imagine again, all you have to do is have a little bit of deep thinking like skills for to understand why this is not going to work. Number one, you know why this is not going to work. Does anybody know why? Can anybody take a guess on why this is not going to work? Have you ever rented a car? Bro, you rent a Ferrari, you're going to rag that Ferrari out. You rent a Lamborghini, you're going to rag that Lamborghini out. You rent a Maybach, you're gonna put the pedal to the floor on that thing. Okay. Now imagine you got a bunch of different people renting that car day after day after day. Bro, within like a couple months, dude, that car is gonna have so many miles on it and it's gonna be freaking just beat up. Number one, cars are already depreciating assets. Also, the likelihood that you would be able to rent that thing out every day, is silly and ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's just silly and ridiculous. So again, don't fall for get rich quick schemes. Again, it's just not going to work. Like, listen, if you got $500,000, There's a lot better things you can do than try to buy a car and rent it out. Again, that doesn't work. Your car is going to depreciate so quickly that it doesn't even matter. It's just not worth it. Yeah, man. How many people have actually rented a Lamborghini before, bro? Bro, you rag those things out, dude. You put the pedal to the floor, man. You're burning out left and right, bro. After like a couple weeks of that, dude, your car is gonna be beat to heck, man. It's gonna be just beat up. Yeah, Quantower is typically $70 a month, but it's free with Top Step. So drop shipping too, man. Drop shipping is a problem too, bro. Again, the problem is that everybody wants to get rich with no money. Like that's the problem. And I'm not saying you can't do it, but like drop shipping thing as well. You know how hard it is to scale that business. Like number one, it's so saturated right now. Like it's so saturated. Like the amount of the problem that you get is that people make more money on selling courses on how to drop ship than they do from actually drop shipping. The issue with drop shipping is simple. You get a bunch of people that are trying to sell you a course and they're using like, hey guys, look, I do 10K a month. And it's like, they might do 10K, but if you think 10K is net, you're crazy. Most of the time it's 10K in sales, right? Which means they might make like 1,000 a month net, and it's probably not even net. And when you consider how much time they're putting into it, it's just not going to be worth it. Again, it's another get rich quick, sell you a dream thing. I'm not saying certain people don't make money drop shipping, but like it's definitely not most people. And it's something that like, again, you got to have deep thought with this type of stuff. You got to understand what it is. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's like you got to think about it. I'm not saying you can't make money drop shipping, but it's incredibly difficult. It's oversaturated. Anything where you get paid for doing nothing is going to be saturated right now. And you got to think deeply about it and understand what it is, which is that people are making more money selling you that course on how to drop ship than they are from actually drop shipping. But a bunch of young kids get caught up in it because they want to get rich. Just buy IEP and reap the benefits of $2 a share quarterly, easiest money out there. I don't know if you want me to say this, but like, bro, IEP is down how much over the last 6 months, dude? IEP in May, at the beginning of May, IEP, bro, was $50 a share, sir. Where is it at now? Tell me, where is it at now? Is it down more than $2 a share? I think it is. You got to be trolling me a little bit. If it is, good troll. But yeah. Yeah, you need a novel idea, not the same thing everybody else is doing. That's the hard thing to think of. Again, some good content. Look at Alex Hormozy. He's got some good stuff. I've been reading his book lately, 100 Million Offers. Hey, what's up, Tony? Yeah, I mean, listen, we could go to the lows and see how much it's up. But again, in May, it was at $50 a share, dude. So to put it into perspective, in 3 months, IEP is down about 40%. When the rest of the market this year is up about 40%. So, here's the chart right here. This is where it was in May. It is now at $33 a share. So, did I say buy it in May? No, you said just buy IEP and reap the benefits of $2 a share quarterly. Easiest money out there. Point is, the point that you seem to be missing, Peter, despite your attachment to IEP, is that IEP is incredibly volatile and has dropped 40% in the year. And so sitting on IEP for justification of earning $2 quarterly per share seems like a bad idea, bro. Again, maybe not. Again, it's subjective. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But like a $2 quarterly dividend per share when the stock is down $20 a share over the last 3 months. It's a hard sell there, brother. Hard sell there, brother. But it's all love here. It's all good, dude. I guess the point I'm trying to make is like a stock can drop. Say you got a $10 stock, right? And then that $10 stock drops to $1 a share, right? So that $10 stock drops 90%. Okay. And it's at $1 a share. And then that $1 a share bounces to $2 a share, right? Really, it's down 80% over that year. But like anybody could say, hey, look, guys, ABC is up 100%. And technically that would be true. It would be up 100%. But when you compare that to being down 90% on the year, 100% gain, when it's down 90% is not the best thing ever. You know what I mean? Like anybody can isolate a stock that's bounced off of lows when it's down huge percentages, but like it doesn't mean it's safe. And I think it's still incredibly risky. Maybe not though. Again, I don't know for sure. Maybe you're right. All right, the E-mini still falling back down, though. Again, we're pretty flat and sideways here. I'm going to get rid of this trend. I don't know if this trend's actually holding. Yeah, listen, and again, Peter, just to clarify, I'm all about buying up, like, healthy companies that are down big. I'm all about that. That's what I do. Man, that's what I do. I guess I just didn't like the way you phrased it with saying it was the easiest money ever. I don't like definitive statements, and especially where like a stock's down, $20 a share. A $2 quarterly dividend is not the biggest selling point in my opinion. But again, it's all love, man. It's all good. Tesla down 1.1%. Yeah, but it's still pretty early, man. On Tesla, maybe it bounces. I don't know. Tesla's up 100% or what on the year? Let me see. Yeah, on the year, Tesla's up more than that. So, how do you feel about AT&T? I don't really trust AT&T. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't trust it. The only way to make money is to save it. No, that's not true either. I mean, to make money, you gotta spend it really. Most of the time, saving is fine, but like, if you save up your money your whole life, you're gonna lose money, a lot of money long term. You know what I mean? Like it's all inflation hedges, right? So the S&P 500, investing in the S&P is hedging against inflation. Investing in gold is a hedge against inflation. Investing in, real estate is all like ultimately a hedge against inflation. But one of the universal truths of all those things is that you got to spend money to make money. And then, it is what it is. But again, nothing's guaranteed in any particular year. But when you zoom out more than that, markets are going to go up long term for a lot of different reasons. One of them is inflation. And so letting your money sit in those investments long term is one of the best things you could do to keep up with inflation. Saving is important. And I think one thing that's preached to a lot of people is here, I'm going to get ready to day trade. But one of the things that's preached to a lot of people is to save, like Dave Ramsey, save. And saving is good, but like say you save 100K for retirement, but you don't retire for 20 years. In 20 years, that 100K is going to be worth significantly less. It's going to be significantly less buying power, in 20 years. And so I think it's important, like if you're young and you want to be wealthy, you got to take risks. You got to spend money, if you're older and like, you know what I mean? Like you can save money if you're approaching retirement. I mean, sure, save money if you want or do 401s or Ks or whatever. But if you're young and you want to be wealthy and you don't want to reap the benefits of it when you're 65, you got to take risks. You got to spend money. If not, yeah, you might have some retirement when you're 65 plus. But I mean, I want to live good now, not when I'm 65 plus. And I think in order to live good now, you got to take risks. Anyways, we're getting ready to trade here, guys. We'll see if we get something good. Again, I'm down a little bit on the day trading futures. You can see the E-mini here. And this is Quant Tower for all those wondering. All right, we got about 23 minutes. John, what do you spend your money on? My kids, mostly. I save most of my money. So when I get money, most of the time I put like 80% of my money up. And so, I'm still young, and so I can do that. And most of the time I either invest it in stuff or I just stick it away. Gonna be buying a house sometime in the next year or two. So another house, that is. And so mostly I just save my money. I don't really need anything. Like I buy food, groceries, I spend money on my kids. But like in terms of like clothes, I got enough clothes. Like I got basically, again, I was talking about it yesterday. Sometimes more money doesn't mean everything. I have everything I could want, and I'm not stressed out financially at all. And so most of the money I get, I just save. And when I say save, let me clarify. I don't mean just sticking money up. Most of the time I mean investing it. Like I put it in stuff, buy gold or S&P 500 or stocks or real estate. I most of the time I invest the money I get, is my point. Yeah, Lululemon. Hey, shout out to my wife and daughter. They love Lululemon. Yeah, we got a little bit of a downward trend again. I'm not really trusting the market a ton right now. So I'm just kind of pretty quiet. We lost a little bit in pre. I don't really want to give back too much money here. Watching AMD as well. We got Apple and Amazon earnings today also that are going to be big after the bell today. I don't know if I'm going to get a Tesla truck. I'm probably not. I'm probably not going to get a Tesla truck. If I got a Tesla, it'd be a car. To be honest, we already have too many cars in my house, and so we don't have enough room to buy. I don't have enough room to put a Cybertruck in there. Again, we're running out of space. Yeah, we're going to stream the entire Apple and Amazon earnings report and then the full Apple earnings call as well. Again, we're going to try to build up a cushion. We're currently down a couple $100 on this account, but again, the goal is to build up a cushion first. I think you are pretty successful running this channel. You did well, I think. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, we make money for sure running this channel. Again, it comes with a lot of nonsense, though. Like, people hate, and usually people who are like disappointed with themselves are the biggest haters, and so you got to combat that regularly. But again, it's a small price to pay for everything. Like in the end, like we give away free content. We don't charge for any of it. We don't sell a course. We don't have any paywalls behind it. And we just kind of report on free economic data and stock market news and reports. And I think people understand like we're reliable with it. We cover it each time. So if you want to know what's going on in the market, again, hey, hit that subscribe button. Again, we need less than 40 subs to hit 112,000. We'll hit that today for sure. Again, Apple earnings are going to be the biggest one. Apple's the most heavily weighted stock in the S&P. AMD bouncing back a little bit, but yeah, here's Apple right here. Yeah, we try. I need a bigger garage. Our garage is a 3-car garage, I think, but Again, I just don't need any other cars. Like, again, I don't really need any other ones. I love cars, but you get a nice car, you drive it for a little while. At first, it's like you love driving it. You want to drive it all the time. Like when we got our latest one, Carol and I would literally fight over who gets to drive it. And but after you drive it for a certain amount of time, it's just kind of like, you get used to it. It's not the shiny thing that it once was, and unless you're going to keep buying cars to get that rush, it's just not worth it. You got to just say, all right, we got enough now, until I find another cool car to buy, I guess. What about when your daughter starts driving? Yeah, well, I'm definitely not going to get her a Tesla. We'll probably get her like a truck or like an SUV of some sort with a good safety rating. Apple at 192 here. So again, Apple, a lot of people are waiting for Apple to break 200. Will Apple break $200 today is the question. Let me end this poll. I think we already did it. We asked people, does jobless claims come in higher or lower? We're going to do another poll. And the poll is going to say, does Apple beat earnings today? Or does Apple break $200 today is a good question. Yes or no, vote on that poll. No, you just need to, and on Top Step, it's free. So if you sign up to Top Step, you get a free Quant Tower account. So yeah, you don't have to pay for it. Yeah, for sure. I'm used to it, Jamie. Subarus are cool. I always wanted a WRX. But now WRXs are seeming less fast. Like I always wanted a Subaru WRX STI because they ran like 12 and a half quarter mile. But now with Tesla's doing way faster than that, 12 and a half seems slow. Almost. Not slow. It's still faster than 95% of the other vehicles on the road, but still. All right. Hey, 18 minutes, 17 minutes. Again, it's going to be a little bit slower to right now this morning because we just don't have, like, jobless claims are important and all, but they drop weekly. They're less big of a report. Now we have non-manufacturing and services PMI data. Again, if you don't know what this is, services PMI is released monthly. It is based on 400 executives and surveys from those executives and service companies. Level of 50 is no change. Above 50, it signals improvement in the services sector. Below 50 indicates deterioration in the services sector. We also, and again, they're expecting for services PMI 52.4 reading, a 52.4 reading, and that drops in 30 minutes at 9:45 market time. 9:45 market time. You can see the timer up on the top left. ISM manufacturing, non-manufacturing PMI is a report on data compiled from 370 purchasing and supply executives. It's a composite index based on the diffusion of 4 of the indicators with equal weight: business activity, new orders, employment, and supplier deliveries. Above 50 indicates that the non-manufacturing sector is expanding. Below 50 signals contracting sector, and 50 indicates no change. So again, they are expecting in non-manufacturing 53, so a slight expanding non-manufacturing sector. Again, services PMI, they're expecting a slight improvement at 52.4. So around 52 and 53 is what they're both expecting for both services and non-manufacturing PMI data. And again, those data drop at 8:30. Or no, I'm sorry. Those data drop at 9:45 and 10. Yeah, I haven't tried the new ones. Rather invest in the market than buy a car, depreciating asset, drive mine till the wheels fall off. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. It depends on how much money you have, to be honest. If you've got enough money to where you just want to enjoy life, fine, buy a new car. If you're like a young person who doesn't have that much money, don't finance a new car. It's a terrible decision. You're going to be locked in debt on a hugely depreciating asset that's going to lose tens of thousands of dollars in value just when you drive it off the lot. It's a terrible decision most of the time. But again, everybody wants to flex when they're young. Everybody wants to look cool. They want a new car. Again, that new car, unless it's something like a Lambo, is not going to be as cool as you think it is in 3-4 years. And so, again, don't waste your money on new cars unless you really have it like that. If you have it like that, buy a new car. It's all good. If you don't have it like that, don't finance a depreciating asset unless you can write it off. If you can write it off, that's a different story, But that's business wise. So. Yeah, I like minivans, bro. My mom used to have a minivan. She let me drive. It was great. I loved it. I could fit all my friends in that thing, man. We had fun in my mom's minivan. She had I think it was called an Aztec. Let me see. Here it is, dude. Yeah, my mom had one of these. It looked just like this. Man, it's been so long since I've seen this thing. My mom had an Aztec. It looks just like this. This was back in this was like early 2000s. My mom had an Aztec. That thing could fit so many people. Everybody loved it. In hindsight, it wasn't that bad looking, man. It's not what I remember. I remember it being really ugly, and I guess it's not the prettiest car, but it's not bad. Yeah, I think it was a Pontiac. Datsuns are pretty cool. I used to love Zs. My favorite dream car when I was like a teenager was a 300Z. This was back before the 350Z came out. The twin turbo 300Z was like ideally what I would want. That or like a 96, 97 Toyota Supra twin turbo. Those are kind of my two dream cars. Or an Acura NSX are pretty cool too. But yeah. Again, Apple dipping down at 191.50s here. Yeah, feel yourself. Are 300Z twin turbos super expensive now? I don't even know. I know they got like the 370Z. Let me see, for sale. How much do these things run now? They've got to have some miles on them now. Here's Auto Trader. I mean, you can get a 1990 300Z twin turbo with 60,000 miles on it for about $18K. That's really not that bad, dude. I mean, honestly, that's really not that bad. So you can get a twin turbo 300Z for about 20 to 30,000. If you don't drive it and you keep it in a temperature cooled area, it might appreciate over time too. But you got that. The trick is finding one with low miles. You see the motor in this one. All right, so SPY bounced it up a little bit. Still in a somewhat of a trend here. There's the trend currently. Honestly, though, I don't know if I'd buy it. Modern day at 300Z. All right, guys, 9 minutes, 9 minutes. Yeah, Curtis says, I'm an old school and I don't like turbos. They wear our engines prematurely and expensive to fix. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, man. I think a lot of people misunderstand what you have to do to reliably drive especially an aftermarket turbo vehicle. Um, Again, I had a buddy, and I've told this story before, but one of my friends from a while back, he did the Sylvia motor swap. He bought a 240. He put the Sylvia motor in it. And I think he wanted to run like 40 pounds of boost in that Sylvia motor. And I remember at the time telling him, like, hey man, that's a lot of boost. You want to lower the boost at least, or if you want to run that high a boost, you got to compensate by like lowering the compression and the pistons or whatever, uh, and or do something to make it a little bit more stable with that much boost. And he argued with me, and he didn't really know that much about cars. And so he insisted on running like tons of boosts. I can't remember what it was, but it was way more than he should have been. And then sure enough, within like a month, his whole motor was blown, and he ended up selling the car, but he blew his motor pretty quickly within about a couple weeks after me telling him that. And so if you're going to run a turbo in your car, it does wear it out faster. Superchargers aren't that much better. And if you're putting an aftermarket turbo in something that, especially a motor that doesn't naturally run a turbo, you got to lower the compression and rebuild the motor a little bit to compensate for it, I think, which most people don't do. Apple data is today at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock for Apple data. Nitrous does the same thing. I mean, it doesn't do the same thing, but it'll hurt your car too, for sure. Most people just get greedy with nitrous, though, to be honest. All right, anyways, Apple bouncing up to 191.50 short term. Tesla's still down pretty big on the day. Again, you can kind of see Tesla at 251s. Watching NVIDIA today also. NVIDIA's down a decent amount. Yeah, now with EV, I mean, again, the reason I think EVs are going to grow, people act like, I've been running this channel for years. Years ago, people told me that EV was just a fad, right? The problem with that statement is simple, is that take the exact argument I just put out there against boost, against turbos, and look at how you have better speed efficiency with EVs. It's just more efficient in terms of getting speed out of your vehicle than, an internal combustion engine could ever be. Like the Tesla Plaid, for instance, runs 9 seconds stock quarter mile time, which, again, if you watch the Fast and Furious, you might not be that impressed by it, but a 9-second quarter mile stock is a drag car. That thing is going to beat almost everything out there. 9 seconds is incredibly fast. It's almost too fast to where, 2 seconds, 0 to 60, 9-second quarter mile. It's way too quick. Like I would be nervous driving that, at least putting my foot on the floor, on the gas. And so the fact that EVs can do that without as much risk of blowing their motor shows why EVs are going to be a thing moving forward, because they're simply more efficient. Now, I know battery production is difficult and has its environmental tolls, and I understand that. I'm not talking from an environmental standpoint, but in terms of efficiency, EVs are obviously better. They drive themselves to a certain extent. They're fast. They're silent. I think they're just more efficient. And I think because of that, efficiency breeds growth. And I think over time, things that are more efficient are going to become more and more common, and, kind of the survival of the fittest business wise. But at the same time, to give you the other side of that, big oil runs the world. And so they certainly don't want, EVs to replace the internal combustion motor, because they're going to lose a lot. And so that's the other nuance of it that you want to pay attention to if you're looking to bet on EVs. We got 4 minutes left until the market opens. Yeah, Coinbase earnings are this evening. Apple's still flushing down. Again, we're in this little mini trend for the S&P that we're watching here. Tesla bounced up slightly to 251.80s. But yeah, we're in a downward trend right now that I can see on the S&P at least. Yeah, I mean, and that's why I said, Chris, excluding environmental reasons. And again, I'm talking about in terms of pure efficiency. EVs are just more efficient. And that's a very self-evident thing when you compare it to like gas-powered vehicles. EVs are simply just more efficient. Now, maybe there's going to be more types of hybrids for that type of stuff. I know, like the car we currently have, it's not a pure hybrid, but it does use electricity a lot more than previous ones. Like it'll turn the car off and let it run certain ways with electricity at lights if we're sitting there for a while or whatever. But again, just pure efficiency is going to grow EV sector for sure over time. Apple bouncing up to 191.65 short term. Nvidia still down pretty big on the day. Hey, thank you, Shrewd. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Coinbase earnings are this evening. We'll cover them. We got about 2 minutes left until the market opens, guys. 2 minutes. All right, so we're right at the bottom of this trend line. I don't know if the E-mini is going to hold this trend now, though. I would buy this, but we only have a minute left until the opening bell, and I just think the opening volatility is going to cancel out any potential trend that could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to, but I think it could. And I think that risk is too much. I got to wait for just easier trades. Again, goal is to build up a cushion and then take swings and risk based off of that cushion. All right, so here's the opening bell. All right, so 30 seconds, guys, 30 seconds. Ten seconds. Glad I didn't buy that dip. Again, opening volatilities here, so 5 seconds. All right, so there's the open. Nvidia moving up a little bit now. A lot of stuff rebounding back up here. Interesting. All right, Tesla ripping up to 252.60s. Apple moving up to 192s. I don't know. I could try to keep this trend, but that's all we got so far. I don't know if it's going to hold this. Tesla mostly dragging the market up today. Big rejection down there. So still choppy since the open. That's a big rejection quickly, though. All right, so breaking down under this bottom trend, maybe we're going to get bear action. So we'll look to maybe short if we get some good setups. Again, I'm going to let the market settle down for 5 minutes first. Is AMD popping up? I see Tesla ripping up. AMD's up to 110s. Looking at Amazon too. Amazon kind of breaking down ahead of earnings, down at 127s. Tesla's still looking pretty strong though, but the S&P is breaking down now. So Amazon getting weak. You guys, I haven't taken a trade yet. I will short a little bit here. All right, we got one contract short. Might take up to 2 contracts. This is our 150K combine, so we got some room here to play with. I'm going to take 3 contracts here. Pulling back to test that previous trend line. Small trade so far. All right, we're flat. All right. Scaling in some. Again, this is our larger account. We can take up to 15 contracts here. So 4 contracts is actually pretty small. I just took half off there. Cut a little bit of profit here. Now we only have 2 contracts left, and I can be a little bit more loose and maybe add more if it looks good. Tesla's still ripping up though. Amazon moving back up too. Tesla breaking highs. Apple breaking down. Kind of a big move up here. And yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that. All right, so we lost a little bit more. It's still pretty small on the day, but yeah, market's very volatile, so we'll let it settle down. Again, we do have Apple and Amazon earnings this evening, and so it is something that, like, a lot of the time ahead of these big reports, you get choppy action. You get just neutral, choppy action. Watching NASDAQ too. NASDAQ is even more choppy over the last 6 minutes. My loss on this account is probably like $1,000 on a specific day. This is the larger account, so I mean, we got more room. And I'm trying to get funded on this one today, but I also don't want to take too much risks. Too many risks. We're actually green in stocks today too, which is nice. This looks pretty strong in all honesty. So I just made about another $200 back in this account on the NASDAQ. This is the E-mini. E-mini's a little bit slow for me, so we'll see if we get anything better now. But very strong action coming in on the bull side so far. All right, market's consolidating again. We might have choppiness. NASDAQ still trying, going sideways back and forth though. All right, so we just got a beautiful trade in here on the NASDAQ. We had to take some size, but we are now up about 1,100 on this account on the day. Nice little cushion. And again, we're pushing towards getting funded in our 150K combine. We're really close. We're really close. Let me see what my gross profits are looking like in this account now. Make sure I'm in the right one, which I am. Beautiful bounce on the NASDAQ. I don't know if the E-mini is going to do it. We might be able to take some trades. Huge rip ups. Yeah, we do have some music coming out. No, not music. We have some data coming out in about 6 minutes here. So y'all be careful. I'm going to buy 2 contracts of the E-mini here. And again, we're up a little bit over 1,000 on the day already. So we're going to take small size here. It's going to be small. We're not going to take too much risks here. We'll wait for the data to release first before we take any big trades. We're going to go ahead and cut that. Oh, no, accidentally short now, which I didn't want to do. I'm just going to cut that because I didn't want to take that trade. Again, we're still up about 900 on the day. And how much do we need to get funded today? I think we needed like 3,500. So we got room to take a risk, but I think we're going to wait for this data to come out first. Tesla up nicely. Is Nvidia coming back? Yeah, so far we've had a lot of choppiness in the S&P. The NASDAQ hasn't been that bad though. Yeah, the S&P is mostly flat since the open, but the NASDAQ's actually had a really good day. Like here's the NASDAQ right here. Crazy big green day on this one. And I historically I do much better on the NASDAQ than I do on the S&P. Again, 6 minutes, guys, or 4 minutes until S&T services PMI data drops. Be careful. And another trade on the NASDAQ just made about another 300 back. So we are now up over 1,100 on the day. Again, the goal is to hit 3,500 net. We're close, but we got to be careful. I see Amazon starting to rebound here. Just be careful today. Market's kind of flat from what I'm seeing. Again, we got the PMI data in about 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. The big data comes out. Non-manufacturing data is a little bit larger than services PMI. So it'll be relevant. But again, I'm going to wait now. We got 2 minutes exactly until this data comes out. So again, hit the sub button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Tesla dipping down to 255s. Again, and this is us being pretty flat and everything now. There's Tesla dipped to 255, roughly 255. A lot of stuff's choppy, and again, it's not crazy to expect choppy action. We got 1 minute left before this data release. They might influence the market, which could influence Amazon and Apple. We don't know for sure though, but it could. The point is, it could influence it. We don't know if it will. Another little pop, but I think the market's waiting for this data release, which is right now for service. Here goes services PMI 52.3, slightly lower than expected. 52.3 for services PMI, slightly lower than expected here. We're gonna go to buy this. Again, slightly lower than expected. 52.3 versus 52.4 expected for services PMI. Again, we cover this data quick. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. 52.3 versus 54 expected for services PMI, or 52.4 expected for services PMI. Building up the cushion on the day I have so far. Yeah, we're going to cut it. Still up 1,100 on the day. Big downwick price action here. We're going to buy this up now. Maybe scale into it, but small. All right, retracement back up again. Slightly green on this trade. Took half off there, locked it in. Nice little bounce back up. Maybe we'll add to it if we get something good here, but not going to take too much risk. There's 2 contracts now. There's a little pop. We just made about $100 there. Locking in some more as we bounce. Got to cut the rest up there. So yeah, we're up about 1,500, 1,400 on the day actually. Our win-loss ratio is about 2.2 to 1. You can see that here, mostly on the long side this morning. Flat action, but we're just kind of trading the range. The NASDAQ did fly up as well here, to be honest. So the NASDAQ flew. Look at the NASDAQ rip. Look at the E-mini rip. 13 minutes. Huge rip in markets, guys. Huge bounce up. Tesla ripping up. Apple ripping up. A lot of stuff moving up now. Man, Amazon ripping up now too. Part of me wants to buy the dip, but I'm also trying to be a little bit safer here with everything. Take another contract here, maybe add a little bit more to it. There's a small gain. Tesla ripping up. Yeah, the NASDAQ has just surged up big here today, guys. So the NASDAQ has just flew up. All right, so we're in 3 contracts of the E-mini. Nice. Locked in a little bit. Locked in a little bit more. Profiting on the long side today. We're going to take a little bit more off. So, yeah, now we're up over 1,600 on the day. Again, we need 35 or so to get funded. So we're over halfway there. Or no, we're not quite halfway there. A little bit under halfway. Got the nice little bounces back. All right, guys. Hey, 9 minutes. Markets have been mostly flying up today since the open. Again, the NASDAQ is definitely more profound in terms of movement. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has had big green action. Here's the opening bell. So there's the opening bell right there, man. Let me fix this a little bit. Here's the open. And then here is the price action since the open. Where are we going to go now, guys? Let me know. But pretty good price action on the NASDAQ, which is more tech-based. Yeah, we got non-manufacturing PMI in about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Again, here's the P&L graph on the day, about 2.5 to 1 win-loss ratio. Again, mostly on the long side, up a little bit over 1,600. 9 minutes, we have non-manufacturing PMI data, which is economic release regarding non-manufacturing sectors, whether they have strength or weakness, whether they're expanding or losing ground. Yeah, Aapl Amzn earnings will be relevant. AI is probably going to get brought up a couple times. So we'll see how it impacts markets, but it'll definitely be interesting. NASDAQ's a little bit too extended up here for me to really want to buy this now. Again, we got a really nice cushion on the day that we can make our swing and try to get funded in our 150K combine, but Tesla trying to pull back a little bit. We'll see if it bounces now and the strength continues. Again, a little bit too extended on the upside for me to buy the dip right now. I'm not going to short the top either because, again, especially with the NASDAQ, this thing can just keep running. Again, I'll probably wait for this data to release. Amazon rip it up. Amazon now technically green on the day with a very red, open. Now it's technically green. Market's starting to settle a little bit. Small pullback on the NASDAQ. Again, nothing yet for me. Discord. Yeah, Discord's working for me at least. NASDAQ still consolidating around the highs of the day here. Again, up a little bit too much for me to buy this now. Even if it keeps ripping, it's just up a little bit too much for me personally there. NASDAQ still surging here. Tesla bouncing it back up a little bit. Yeah, we've mostly been making money on the long side today. Again, we're up a couple, a little bit under at 2,000. Mostly on the long side. But again, now that we've made this pretty big move up on the NASDAQ today since the open, again, we're up a little bit too much for me to be interested in buying it. Maybe we got like some little mini flags and stuff happening. But again, we're up just a little bit too much for me currently. Coinbase is green. Oh, man. Coinbase is green. They do report their earnings today as well. So we'll see what they show for that. Technically green. Again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. You want to try to get funded with me. Look at Tesla test highs right now. So TopStep funded account program for futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150,000 with a 90% split. Again, they're delayed just a bit how fast they're growing right now. So signups are a little bit delayed. But again, you can still get the base combine for only $49 right now, which is really cheap. 49 bucks. You have limited risk. If you can pass it, you still get most of the rewards you would get if you put the money up yourself, but your risk is limited. Again, they give you a demo. They test your skill. The futures market, there's no PDT rule, so you can day trade short the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. And they're the most legit funded program in the world. They pay out millions and fund thousands of traders every year. They pay out millions in actual withdrawals. And again, they are a little delayed. TradeAbate, one of their platforms, is having issues. I'm using Quant Tower. Quant Tower really is a great platform. It's my favorite one to use. And again, if you want to check them out, again, they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course, but yeah, I'm biased. So again, check out the link. Great way to help support your boy here. Again, Day Trader Talk. We are using Epidemic Sounds. All right, so NASDAQ did break highs again, still pushing up, still making moves. Shopify, I believe, dropped earnings yesterday, is my guess. What do they show for earnings for Shopify? I don't really cover Shopify that much, but I believe they dropped their earnings. That's probably why. We got 2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes before this data release. Yeah, Shopify showed their loss widened. Revenue went up, but their loss their loss widened. They posted a second quarter loss per share of 102. So they're still losing money. I mean, if you broke a rule, it depends on what rule. If you went under the daily max, or if you went under the max loss, then you got to either reset or buy a new one. I think it's cheaper to buy a new one right now, to be honest, because buying a new one's 49 bucks. I think resetting is 100. But again, it's purely subjective, up to you. All right, so we're finally getting a little dip in the NASDAQ and Tesla. Again, here's the release right here. We got 50 seconds left before the PMI data release. All right, here's the release, guys. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. Again, hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're caught up. Again, they're expecting 53 for non-manufacturing PMI. 53. 10 seconds. All right, NASDAQ's up a lot heading into this PMI release. Apple pulling back a little bit. Again, they're expecting 53, which means a slight expanding non-manufacturing sector. And there's the release. Manufacturing PMI came in low at 52.7 versus 53. Low at 52.7 versus 53. And again, we covered this very quickly. So again, non-manufacturing 52.7 versus 53. But here's the release right there. Non-manufacturing PMI. Again, we covered that within a quarter second of the release here, within a quarter second. And so again, subscribe if you haven't yet. We'll see what we can do here. There's the NASDAQ ripping up. What's the E-mini look like? Again, the NASDAQ looks a little extended to me. Finally getting a pullback in the E-mini. Again, another beautiful gain on the upside on the E-mini here. We're up over $2,000 right now. Over $2,000 in profit. We only need about 1,500 left We're over halfway there. Here's the graph. Mostly on the long side. We traded the regular E-mini this time. Win-loss ratio today is about 3-1. 3-1. Markets are looking much better too, honestly. The stock market is, at least. Big green reaction to market activity today. So Apple's pretty flat though and sideways. All right, so got a decent little pullback here. We're going to take one contract now, but we also have to be careful. We're going to start it off at just one. We might add to 2 or 3, but we're starting it off with just one, and I'm watching to see how this affects the rest of this move here. I see Tesla dipping down too, so we'll add a little bit more now. And I don't know if we're going to add any more to this. Pretty much flat now. Try to push up. Now we're green. I took half off there. Beautiful movement there. Just made another $200. So yeah, we are up to $2,300 in profit. 3.2 to 1 profit loss ratio, about $2,400. Again, very close. Let me look at this account to make sure. All right, so far this account has 5,527 thousand in profit, 5,527 in profit prior to today. After today, net wise, we're gonna be we need 9, and so today, yeah, today we needed about $3,500. We're at $2,400, and so we're pretty close here, guys. We're pretty close. My headphones are kind of acting up. I'm going to take them out. I hear weird stuff in my ears, so I'm just going to take these out. All right. Consolidation happening now. Only got one contract here. I don't like this, how this looks. I'm going to cut that. So again, we're still up 2,200 on the day. I just don't know if I like that. We're going to wait. Can you hear the music? Yeah, let me fix this. All right, so there you go. You should be able to hear it now. Let me know if you can. Big flush down, or a little bit of flush down. Again, Apple, Amazon earnings today. It's been kind of a choppy day. I got some green action here in markets. Nasdaq's consolidating a little bit now. Yeah, we're just sitting back watching markets again, guys. We'll see if we can take our push later. Again, Apple, Amazon earnings are dropping after the bell today. So, again, we'll see if we get something good. Markets are sitting pretty flat on the day. We haven't really gotten any big volatility from anything so far. Again, services PMI came out slightly lower. So did non-manufacturing PMI, again, slightly lower. Is the market down again? We're just kind of sitting tight. Apple dipped a little bit under the previous closing price, but again, the biggest earnings releases are today, and sometimes the market is flat and choppy heading into days like today. AMD looking good. Yeah, what's NVIDIA and AMD doing today? NVIDIA's still looking great. Coin has earnings today too. Yeah, there's actually a big list of earnings today. It's Coinbase. Let me figure it out what all the big ones are. It's Coinbase. Let me see. It is Apple, Amazon, Coinbase, Block, which is SQ, Airbnb, DraftKings, Cloudflare, Fortinet, Context Logic, and Amgen all released their earnings today, which are all pretty big releases. Like, these are all very relevant to the market. The biggest ones obviously are Amazon and Apple. Those are like the big ones. But again, Coinbase will be relevant to crypto. Obviously, Airbnb will be relevant to housing. Cloudflare will be relevant also. So we just got a bunch of big releases to watch today. And again, I don't know if they're going to come in good, bad, up, down. I don't know. I know what probably will happen is there's going to be some influence on the market through these. How much, we don't know, but there's probably going to be some influence here. So again, we'll see. Market's mostly breaking down a little bit over the last 10 minutes or so. Again, not really dipping enough for me to want to buy it yet. Let me give it time. Again, we'll probably close it down and come back a little bit later on. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. If you haven't checked out Moomoo, again, if you open up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you get 5 free stocks. You deposit at least $1,000, you get 15 free stocks. You deposit at least $5K, you get the previous 15 plus a free share of Google or Tesla. And I did get Tesla. There's 0 commission. It's open the entire time in pre-market and after hours. And there's some great resources on Moomoo. You can check out the link in the description if you want more info. Again, I use it as kind of like an economic calendar where you can see like Apple, Amazon earnings. You can see what their expectations are. I can look at economic data, see what's going on in North America, see how the big releases, challenger job cuts, all these different things. And it's all very relevant for market activity as well. Again, I can see what's moving in market hotspots. I can follow other traders to see what they're holding in their portfolio through their paperfolio section. I can find big news and headlines. Just really useful, zero commission platform. Again, check them out. Great way to help support the channel. Again, check out Top Step as well. If you want to try to get funded in futures, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short, and Top Step's the most legit. Again, they've been running into trade evade issues. So they have had issues with trade evade over the last week or so. So it might take a little bit longer to get your credentials. But again, the most legit futures funded program in the world. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders every single year. And again, we're right on the heels of getting funded in our 150K combine. And so we'll see if we can. But yeah, again, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Today at the app, we are going to be streaming the entire Apple and Amazon earnings today, guys. So we are going to be streaming the entire Apple and Amazon earnings live on stream like we always do. And so if you haven't already, again, take the time, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love and support. And again, Apple and Amazon earnings start at 4 p.m. today. We'll probably start streaming a little bit earlier than that. So, but 4 p.m. is really where we're going to be live. The earnings are all going to drop. Let's see. Technically, the earnings for Amazon don't drop, or Apple earnings don't drop until 4:30. Amazon is supposed to drop right at 4 p.m. And so again, we're going to stream all of these guys. So again, sub if you have it, hit the notification bell. Let's keep the growth up, and yeah, hopefully we get funded sometime, you know. But yeah, y'all be safe, y'all be good. If you want the link for both of those, you can find the link in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.